The stage was set for what was supposed to be a warm and celebratory interview between Gwen Stefani and Kelly Clarkson, two powerhouse vocalists who had crossed paths many times in the music industry. The energy at the start of the show was light, with laughter and nostalgia about the early days of their careers. Gwen leaned back in her chair, flashing that signature smile, while Kelly's questions were peppered with admiration and curiosity. But beneath the surface, there was a simmering tension that no one in the studio audience expected would erupt so dramatically. Kelly shifted the conversation from Gwen's current projects to her artistic choices over the years, especially the transition from No Doubt's ska punk roots to her pop-driven solo career. At first, Gwen handled the topic with grace, explaining that every artist reinvents themselves. But Kelly pressed harder, asking whether Gwen had abandoned the sound that made fans fall in love with her in the first place. The room grew noticeably still. Gwen's smile faltered, and she leaned forward, locking eyes with Kelly in a way that made the audience realize this was no longer a casual chat. The back and forth quickly became tense. Gwen defended her decisions, arguing that no artist should be boxed in or expected to stay frozen in time. Kelly countered by suggesting that reinvention sometimes alienates loyal fans who feel left behind. The tension escalated with every exchange, the crowd unsure whether to clap or remain silent. Kelly, known for her unfiltered honesty, didn't back down, and Gwen, equally strong-willed, wasn't about to let herself be cornered on national television. The atmosphere in the studio shifted from celebratory to confrontational. Gwen raised her voice slightly, reminding Kelly that she had built a decades-long career by taking risks and following her instincts, not by pandering to expectations. Kelly replied, "But don't you think the fans who stuck with you from the start deserve consistency?" That was the tipping point. Gwen's face hardened, her voice clipped, and she muttered under her breath before pushing back with a sharp retort about being misunderstood. The audience gasped as Gwen abruptly pushed back her chair, standing with a deliberate firmness that sent shockwaves through the set. Her heels clicked against the studio floor as she declared that she wasn't going to sit through what she felt was an interrogation disguised as an interview. Kelly tried to interject, attempting to cool the fire she had inadvertently stoked, but Gwen had already made up her mind. Her voice carried a mix of frustration and hurt as she said, "I came here to celebrate, not to be questioned like this." As Gwen walked toward the side of the stage, crew members rushed forward in a futile attempt to persuade her to stay. The audience erupted into murmurs, phones discreetly pulled out to capture what was quickly becoming viral television gold. Kelly, visibly stunned, turned to the audience and tried to maintain composure, her trademark smile faltering. She knew the cameras were still rolling, and every second mattered. "Well, that just happened," she quipped nervously, earning awkward laughter from the crowd. Backstage, Gwen was visibly shaken, pacing while assistants hovered nearby. She refused to return to set, telling her team that she felt blindsided and disrespected. Meanwhile, Kelly's producers scrambled, trying to salvage the live broadcast and decide whether to cut to commercial or continue without Gwen. The show's tone shifted entirely, and though Kelly moved on to the next segment, her energy was clearly shaken, the shadow of Gwen's walk-off looming over the rest of the episode. Within minutes, the moment began to spread online. Clips of Gwen storming out were uploaded by audience members and quickly went viral on social media. Fans were divided as some sided with Gwen, arguing that Kelly had pushed too hard, while others defended Kelly, saying she was simply doing her job as a host by asking tough questions. Hashtags like #Gwen vs Kelly and #walkoff trended across platforms, turning the incident into one of the most talked about daytime TV moments of the year. Entertainment outlets seized on the drama, dissecting every word, every gesture, and every facial expression. Talk show pundits debated whether Gwen had overreacted or if Kelly had crossed a line by putting her on the defensive. Both women's fanbases clashed online, creating a digital firestorm that blurred the line between genuine outrage and sensational spectacle. What was meant to be a promotional appearance had now spiraled into a public showdown, leaving both stars' teams in damage control mode. By the end of the day, both Gwen and Kelly had declined to make public statements, but the fallout continued. The network loved the ratings spike but feared long-term damage to the show's reputation with celebrity guests. Behind the scenes, managers and PR teams debated whether an apology was necessary or if silence was the best course. For fans, however, the moment was already etched in pop culture history, a dramatic clash of two iconic voices, culminating in the unforgettable image of Gwen Stefani walking off Kelly Clarkson's stage in the middle of a heated argument. In the hours that followed the live broadcast, Kelly's team huddled in tense meetings to decide how to frame the moment. The incident had already taken on a life of its own, with clips replayed endlessly on entertainment channels. Kelly, though visibly rattled, was determined not to let the situation define her as a host. She told her producers that she had simply asked the questions fans wanted to know, but she couldn't shake the uneasy feeling that perhaps she had pushed Gwen too far. The debate within the team was divided, as some believed the drama was good television, others feared it might discourage future guests. Meanwhile, Gwen returned to her hotel, still fuming. She refused to speak with reporters waiting outside and instead vented privately to close friends and members of her inner circle. She felt betrayed, insisting that she had agreed to do Kelly's show under the impression that it would be celebratory and supportive, not confrontational. Gwen's voice, normally measured, carried frustration as she asked aloud why Kelly would corner her with questions that felt more like accusations. For Gwen, the walk-off wasn't just about pride, it was about self-respect, about not letting herself be put in a position where she felt ridiculed. Social media amplified the drama to new heights. Fans created side-by-side comparison videos of the interview's key moments, analyzing Gwen's facial expressions and Kelly's tone of voice. Some claimed Kelly smirked too much, that her delivery seemed almost antagonistic, while others applauded her bravery in holding Gwen accountable. TikTok and Instagram Reels turned the walk-off into trending memes, fueling endless speculation about what really happened behind the scenes. The line between reality and spectacle blurred further as hashtags like #JusticeForGwen and #TeamKelly raged across platforms. Other celebrities began weighing in, adding unexpected fuel to the fire. Some voiced support for Gwen, praising her for standing her ground and refusing to be cornered. Others praised Kelly for being bold enough to ask the questions no one else dared. Musicians, talk show hosts, and even comedians jumped into the fray, turning the moment into a larger cultural debate about authenticity, respect, and the boundaries of daytime television. The incident had morphed into a conversation that reached far beyond the confines of a single interview. Backstage crew members who had witnessed the meltdown firsthand began leaking small details to gossip outlets. Anonymous insiders claimed Gwen had warned producers before the show not to touch on certain topics, while others insisted Kelly hadn't been given any such restriction. Conflicting accounts only deepened the intrigue. One insider described the walk-off as the most shocking thing I have ever seen on set, while another insisted it was overblown and that Gwen had simply had a bad day. The contradictions ensured the story stayed alive for weeks. The network's executives were both thrilled and alarmed. Ratings for the episode had skyrocketed, drawing one of the highest viewerships the show had seen in months. Yet at the same time, there were calls from Gwen's representatives demanding clarification and even whispers of boycotting future appearances. The delicate balance between sensational television and professional relationships had never been more precarious. Kelly, caught in the middle, struggled with the reality that her career as a host might forever carry the shadow of that single explosive moment. As days turned into a week, rumors swirled that Gwen and Kelly had privately exchanged heated words after the cameras stopped rolling. Some tabloids reported that Gwen demanded an apology, while others claimed Kelly flatly refused, standing by her belief that she had simply done her job. Neither woman publicly confirmed or denied the reports, leaving fans to fill the silence with speculation. The lack of official comment only fueled the frenzy further, creating an aura of mystery around what really transpired when the cameras went dark. The incident also triggered a broader conversation about the challenges female celebrities face in the spotlight. Commentators noted that when men walk off interviews, they're often praised as strong-willed, while women are painted as emotional or difficult. Gwen's defenders argued she was being unfairly judged, while Kelly's supporters countered that she was being vilified for simply holding a fellow artist accountable. The clash wasn't just between two women on a talk show, it had become symbolic of larger issues in media and culture. Fans began to demand a resolution, calling for the two singers to reconcile publicly. Rumors of a joint statement circulated, followed by speculation about the surprise duet that would mend fences. Yet insiders close to both stars dismissed the possibility, saying the tension between them remained unresolved. The silence from both Gwen and Kelly only heightened the drama, making the public hungry for any glimpse of reconciliation or escalation. Ultimately, the walk-off cemented itself as one of the most unforgettable daytime TV moments of the decade. Whether viewed as an overreaction or justified stand, Gwen's decision to leave mid-interview created a cultural ripple that went far beyond the studio walls. For Kelly, it was a reminder of the risks of mixing friendship with journalism. For Gwen, it was a declaration of her refusal to be cornered. For fans, it was raw, unfiltered drama, a reminder that even in the polished world of celebrity television, the most explosive moments are the ones no one sees coming.